Welcome to NOYCE CONVO, brought to you by Voice Entertainment. Let's dive right in. Today we have Aditya, aka Flux Vortex, in the studio. We are glad to have you here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's a little early, but got myself started with a mix. So I've been feeling good about that for sure.
How was your experience playing at the Voice?
It was good. It was like a cozy little space and great gear, great setup. Everything was done very nicely. So I really enjoyed the mix. There were some technical issues as always, but yeah, we can get past that.
How do you deal with technical issues when you go through some?
I guess I've just kind of trained myself to keep hitting against it from different angles. So until I reach the solution, I get obsessed. I have ADHD, so I when there's an issue, I can't just do something else. I'm fully in it.
ADHD is a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
Does it help you when you make music, or does it sometimes work against you?
It helps me when I'm really it helps me when I'm starting tracks. So I end up really getting in the zone and making a lot of beats and getting a lot of things started. But when I have to finish tracks, that's when I really struggle, is because sometimes starting the track is the easiest and the most fun process. Finishing it is not. It's like the more laborious fine tuning of things. So I guess, yeah, I struggle with motivation when I'm finishing tracks, I guess, because of that.
But do you find it difficult? Because I know how ADHD works.
Yeah.
You start the track, yes, but by the time you are continuously hearing the track in a loop,
yeah,
do you get stuck in it? And then
I used to do that. That was me when I began producing. That was a huge issue for me. I had to obviously find strategies to avoid that and just move forward essentially and not stay stuck in a loop. I think a lot of producers struggle with that loop, the loop syndrome, I think they call it.
So do you find it challenging to find move out of that loop and find new sounds?
No, because for myself, what I've done is I've found ways of moving forward by arranging. So I kind of always test myself, or I challenge myself to always be moving forward in some sense or some way or the other. I want, by the end of my session, I want something I can listen to. So that kind of idea helps me with this loop syndrome.
Amazing. And where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Goa. I live in Siolim in Aldona, which is the other side of Goa.
At the quieter side of Goa.
The quieter side of Goa, yeah.
And how does that work for you? Do you find it enjoying, or do you find yourself coming back to the north?
I do come here. I come for gigs. I come to meet people. I come to go to the beach. But yeah, overall, I am able to avoid a lot of distractions. I'd be out partying most of the time if I was living here. So this is why I chose to live there.
So, most musicians are known to be hermits. Do you classify yourself as one as well?
Yeah. The older I'm getting, yeah.
Do you find yourself more going towards the beach, or?
Yeah, I go maybe once a month. I don't know if that counts as a lot.
That does count a lot. I know a lot of musicians.
Yeah. No, I like to be in nature. I like to put myself out. Being in a room for too long also kind of makes me feel claustrophobic. And I kind of need to go out there for inspiration and just to feel alive. I can't just sit in a room making music all day, I guess. I do that, but I need that odd break. Yeah.
How long have you been in Goa?
3 years.
And what do you think what's your opinion on the Goa music scene?
It's building quite a bit. From the time I came here to now, so much has changed, really. I feel when I came here, I didn't really... The idea was not to play in Goa a lot because I had prior experience to the Goa music scene, and I felt there were certain aspects of it that were not really... The pay wasn't good. It was not very professional in terms of the dealings, and also the styles of music I play were not represented here so much. I guess bass music, jungle, even some types of house. It was mostly techno and psytrance. But I guess because of other people like me, things have changed, and the scene is definitely moving forward. I guess some nice venues have come up. There's a lot of studios showing up. So I'm excited for where it has to go. I already have seen massive changes. Yeah.
Why did you start playing in Goa? You said you decided
I mean, I never decided to not play in Goa, but I didn't move to Goa to play in Goa. I moved to Goa to live here, and because I felt like it would be better for me and my lifestyle. And I wanted to travel and I wanted to play in different places. Playing in Goa was not a priority, but obviously it's a great testing ground. It's a great place to experiment and try out new ideas. And people can show up at any hour of the day or the night, and could be down, could be totally not into what you're doing. So it's always challenging and fun. I do enjoy it, but yeah.
But what is
But
the
I don't.
but?
It's not like the thing I'm really focused on. Is what I'm saying.
Amazing. So what has been your experience now that you said you moved to Goa from
Delhi.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the Delhi music scene?
In the Delhi music scene, I guess.
And what do you think is different from the Goa and the Delhi music scene?
I mean, Delhi is like a full-blown city. It has that kind of energy, that frantic energy. A lot of people in Delhi were really, I guess, inspired by the brutality of it all. So that's why the sounds that were coming from there were a little bit different and harsher. And I was into that shit as well. Like I found great inspiration in that complete decay of that city and the environmental destruction that's going on over there. But yeah, after a point, I guess like my mental health started suffering, and it was just not feasible to keep going on. But I definitely think that there's more diversity in sounds. There is more current, like forward thinking. People are more connected, I guess, internationally. I mean, in a different way. In Goa, there's a lot of international community, but it's not really. It's connected to the other cities, I guess. So what's happening in maybe like London, New York, Paris, that's what's going on in Delhi. Well, Goa has its own alternative scene. So yeah, I'm a product to some extent of the experimental music scene of Delhi. A lot of people I met over there were my collaborators and were what I grew with. Yeah.
So
And a lot of the sounds that I play right now are because of things like Box Out Wednesdays. Like I was introduced to that music because of those nights, essentially, and the community around that. So I do owe a lot to my time in Delhi for sure.
So what now that you are from the Delhi music scene and the Goa music scene,
Yeah.
what do you think about the national music scene?
The national music scene. I mean, at this point, I consider myself as part of the national music scene because like my crew and my community is like kind of scattered all around the country. I think it's growing, man. There's like crazy musicians around the country. There's some great festivals that are going on. There's more audience that's building. I think that's still I think the artists have really grown, but the audience hasn't grown as much. So that's still yet to happen, and I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, I think there's some insane music from all different corners of the country coming out. Like I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like it's really.
If you
cool.
could go through all of the music that's coming out of the country right now, who do you think would be your top one pick if somebody wants to go and has heard this podcast and wants to go and listen to some artists?
I mean, I would say check out Young Raj, Shantam. There's Revant, formerly known as Javed Jabib, and Dream R from Siliguri. There's some great bands from the Northeast also that I follow and check out. There is Prismer is a great DJ to see. So just thinking, yeah, even film and Tyrell Dubcop, all the stuff that he's been doing. Zen Abzequinix and Akshay Matkar, or also known as Inner World, they killer. There's like so many different scenes represented. You know, it's quite cool. Like I like it.
So would you say that you're a mix of all of these scenes? Because some of the names are from the techno background, some are jungle, some are DNB.
For sure, yeah, I'm a mix of everything. Yeah, like my musical journey actually started out with like I used to listen to rock and roll. I used to play in bands. I still play in a band actually.
Which band?
It's a band called DN. We make like psychedelic rock. Yeah.
Yeah, you played for Magfields.
You were there at Magfields.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. That was a great set.
You were there for it?
Yeah, it was.
Cool.
It was an amazing set.
Yeah, so I started out with rock. Then my first introduction to electronic music I guess, was through psytrance. Like I think a lot of people in India, because I was the only underground at the time. So that caught my attention. Then through that, I got into techno and like met a lot of people around that. And then, so that's where my techno, psytrance, that kind of, I guess, like more cerebral sounds come from. And then I got introduced to like bass music, to reggae, drum and bass, dubstep. All of that happened also in a progression. So I do have friends and inspirations from all of these sounds.
So that's where is that where your name Flux Vortex comes from? The
I mean,
psytrance
when
influence?
I started calling myself Flux Vortex, I used to actually make ambient music, down tempo music, and it was like a spur of the moment decision. I had made my first track, and I wanted to upload it onto SoundCloud, and I was like, what do I call myself? So then I was like, I thought really hard, and then I was like, okay, Flux Vortex. That kind of makes sense. So I just kept that my name.
So what's the first track that you've ever made? And if you want to go find it, where can
It's on my SoundCloud, but I don't think it's still there.
What is the name of it?
I don't even remember the name. Yeah, it's not there. But a lot of my older tracks are there on my SoundCloud. So if you want to dig deep, that's a good place to go. Yeah.
Amazing. Would we see a different side of you if we go digging through these old tracks?
For sure. You'll see a lot more ambient, like down tempo stuff. You'll like more chill music, I guess.
So now, if you had to describe your sound at this present moment, what would it be?
It would be like
if I am coming to listen to Flux Vortex, what should you expect?
You expect your brain to be tickled and your body to be moved. So
I like that. That's not bad at all. So did you grow up in a musical household?
Not really, no. My parents...
What's your journey?
In the sense that my parents don't play music. I mean, they don't really, not musicians or even close to that. But my dad really enjoys his music. He listens to a lot of music. So I guess I was introduced to a lot of music through my dad. And he used to play this World Space radio. If anyone from back in the time might remember, it was this A.R. Rahman radio that he used to play. I got introduced to a lot of jazz and like different kind of stuff on that. So there was always an appreciation for music, but no one really in my family was artistically inclined, I guess.
So what got you into music?
I just picked up the guitar when I was 13 or 14 years old. And
that seems to be the trend. Every musician picks up a guitar and then...
Yeah, and I was like, okay. Like at first I hated it. It was like I was just doing it because I was forced to do it. But then eventually I just spent some time with it on my own. And then I was like, okay, I don't give a shit about what they're teaching me, but I still learn. But I really like playing the instrument, and I like the sounds I can make and the journeys I can take essentially with it. So yeah, that planted the seed for me.
Yeah. What's the best advice you've got about making music?
The best advice I've got: don't take yourself too seriously.
Fair. In life or in music?
Both. I think that applies everywhere.
So when we listen to your music has a lot of intricate layers.
Yeah.
How do you approach these layers and how do you formulate it in your head? Does it come by naturally?
I think the layers, the more intricate stuff is a later byproduct of just tinkering. But essentially, it starts with an idea. It starts with a basic, simple idea. I like simplicity as well. I don't like to make things too complicated, and I like for things to resonate in that way that's very accessible, I guess. That might be the wrong word to use for my music, but yeah, it starts with an idea, and then I basically develop on that idea and start tinkering and fine-tuning and filling in the gaps, so to speak, with my more intricate sound design choices and glitchy stuff. So that's the final touches, I would say, all the intricate stuff. I think what really to me holds for my music is the essential idea that's there.
When you're making music,
when I'm making it, yeah.
What is this essential idea?
It's just like it could be a melody, it could be like a loop that I make, it could be like a sample, like a vocal sample that I chop, and like it's just that first 5 minutes of making the song is what that song is about for me. Everything else is just the fluff that makes it pretty. But yeah, it's that. It could be anything though. What that idea is, it really depends on the track or the mood I'm in.
What is the funniest thing that's happened to you on stage while you're playing?
The funniest thing that's happened to me on stage. There's a couple of things. Obviously, there's like the classic Indian DJ dilemma where you get song requests, but I got the funniest request one time. I was playing at this is this is actually my first gig ever. I was playing in Parvati Valley. I was playing at a Psytrance festival at the alternative stage.
Which
There's
festival
this
was
thing
this?
called Peking Parvati. And Tchaikovsky was playing at the main stage, and the cops came and shut down his set, but they didn't, for some reason, shut down my stage.
Because it was a chill set.
Because the chill set. So people started showing up to my stage, and I'm playing whatever, down tempo, like the side dub or whatever. And this girl from Chandigarh comes, and then she's like, "Bhai, मेरे को BT ना दे, bro. MD खा रखी है, please, bro." I don't know. I just like ignored her. I'm good at the art of ignoring a lot of requests when I'm playing. But another one is what? I was playing at Zero Festival. Like this is like 2019. I was playing with DN. And yeah, I played the set. It was actually one of my best shows of that tour. And then I came down and someone points out that my fly was open the whole set.
While you were on stage.
I was on
So what will be the most memorable gig that you've had?
The most memorable gig that I've had so far.
Rather than the fly being open.
Like the best experience.
Yes, what's your best experience?
Best experience I think would be like last year at Zero Festival. Like I was playing Marty Hit programming for the electronic stage. And I was playing a late set, and that was just like everything kind of just came together. And you know, just sometimes when everything just works, that was one of those nights. And I was playing from 4 to 6 surrounded by like mountains, and it was like insanely beautiful. And to top it off, like one of the peak moments in my set, it started raining. So it started raining, it started pouring essentially. And
Oh my
like
God.
people who'd been dancing the whole night, they didn't give a fuck. They were having such a great time. They just continued dancing in the rain. So that was cool.
What did you have a shade?
I had shade. It was just
Okay.
the audience that was getting soaked. I was fine. So
So
and like the light also started dispersing. The sun was rising while it was
Oh
raining.
wow.
So it was like insane. Yeah.
Oh, and of course there'll be some people who'll be like ran away from the dance floor
Yeah,
essentially.
I guess. Yeah, it had thinned out. It was 5:30 in the morning, so it wasn't like peak time, but it was really beautiful. And everyone who was there, I think, took back something really special from that moment.
Amazing. When you play for DN
Mhm.
and when you play for Flux Vortex are two different people. Two
Yeah,
different
two
music
different
styles essentially.
personalities
Yes.
inside me. Yeah.
How do you focus your way through to each personality? Do you have a process?
I mean, see,
Before
when
a
I'm
show.
with DN, it's kind of like everything is divided amongst a lot of people, like 5 people,
Yeah.
4 people. So I'm a bit more relaxed and, you know, just kind of improvising and just doing my thing. But when I'm playing as Flux, especially when I'm playing live, I am like the whole band inside of me. So I have to like kind of be really sharp and on point and focused. So the level of focus is insane. And it's freeing and it's fun when eventually I reach a point in the set. But till that point, I really have to be on my toes. Yes.
I hear that makes sense. So dance music, do you think it as just entertainment or it goes somewhere deeper for you?
I mean, I think there's like a couple of ways to look at this. I think one of the things that people look at, especially in like a time like now when the world is kind of in a really shaky political and ecological time, is that dance music as escapism. You know, you kind of go to the dance floor, you dance, and you forget about the rest of the world, and you're able to like relax and find some kind of solace. And I, to some extent, can get behind that, but I also find it to be like a collective kind of catharsis, like people who come together and find meaning in being with each other. It's like a kind of like a church. It's like a place where people go, you know, once in a while and feel connected to others and to music and to like maybe the world around them or like the environment around them. So I can, that's how I would like it to be. And that's my vision for dance music and the dance floors I play at. That's how I like, that's also why it informs the kind of music I make, because when I'm making the music, I'm imagining a dance floor essentially. So yeah.
From your past,
Okay.
if you could take one track
Mm-hmm.
from what your father used to listen to and add it into your music,
Like play in a set or like
Yeah, play in a set or make a track out of one track.
I don't know. There's like actually there's a funny story. My father had a pen drive, and that's the pen drive I used to play in the car whenever he'd drive me anywhere, and that had all the music. And I think he wasn't sure where the source of all that music was, so we would just shuffle through it, and mostly it was his like rock or jazz or something. But this one time, this like crazy like breakbeat square pusher track started playing, and I had never heard anything like it. Okay? I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what the hell is going on?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, what is this crap? Please change it." And I was like, "No, no, no, I want to listen to this." So like that was like the first time I was introduced to like breakbeats or like jungle. But I mean, that's not the track. I guess I would take. I would take this one track that I heard, which was called "Gun" by this person called Gil Scott Heron, the same person who's made the song "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised."
Yeah.
So that's the song I would use.
Amazing. I would like to see if you come up with something like that, if that ever happens.
Yeah, why not?
So now the underground scene in India
Mm-hmm.
is not as underground as it used to be.
But I think that's not just India. That's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's happening.
but do you think it's losing its essence as underground music?
I think that there's like two sides to it. It's like, yes, it's not as underground as it used to be because there are bigger opportunities and because there's maybe brands putting in money. So the positive side is that people who have been, dedicating their lives to these underground genres of music are able to finally make a living from their music, which I think is great. And I think there needs to be more of that, and we need to find ways to like pool in more money and build audiences to this underground scene. But I think what is happening is that a lot of younger people that are coming into the scene as what audience and dancers and are not understanding what the history of the scene is or what the really ethos of it is, and they're coming into these commercialized spaces that are just essentially selling like commercial interests. They're like money making spaces. So I feel a bit of that essence needs to be maintained, and I think that there needs to be a balance, I guess, found. Like for example, I would say Magnetic Fields Festival is something that it is a commercial festival, no doubt, but they're still trying to maintain some kind of underground essence just by even by virtue of the music that they're selecting to play. Like they're not going for the biggest, most commercial artists, or by virtue of the art that's on display, the visuals, or the kind of spaces that they're building. So I think like something can be like I think there's a middle ground that needs to be found, and I think that more of the artists have to be vocal about the essence of what this music is about, of what it means to be like together, dancing, listening to music. What that these beats are more than just the music as well. There's like a whole history to it. There's like there's things that we need to like imbibe and share with the younger people entering, I think.
But the younger people entering, do you think they are more open to these experimental sounds?
Yeah. I do
What
think
is the
so.
downside, do you think, of this is going to be?
What I think is going to happen is there's going to be more of the same. I think there's going to be more like money pumped in. This underground scene is going to become bigger and bigger. And then I think
Do you think the commercial scene is going to become underground?
I mean, in some sense, like look at like techno, for example, as a genre. Okay, it's an underground genre of music, comes from very underground spaces. But at this point in time, it is a commercial genre because it's got such a wide appeal. And yeah, you could say that the commercial has become underground or the underground has become commercial, and the boundaries are getting more and more blurred between what is underground and what is commercial. So I think there's going to be more of that. I think that we as artists and people working in music have to find the spaces that resonate with us and build them and build their audiences. So yeah.
Nowadays, with all this AI also coming in play with everything that we do, do you use it in your music as well? Or do you are against with the idea of
I'm not against the idea. I mean, not like there is obviously a question of like ethics and plagiarism there. Like, for example, music that's fully AI made, it's obviously feeding off a data set of other music that exists in the world. So, is it original music or is it stolen or I don't know. It's questionable. It's like we're still, I think, as a collective, species did understanding what it even means to have AI among us. Like how do we even act with artificial intelligence? Like I don't think we know. And I think in the visual art scene and like visuals, it's much more advanced than in music for sure at this point. But I think music will also get there, and it's a bit scary. Like for example, I came across this news that there is a lot of AI music being pumped into playlists that is essentially stealing or like taking the royalties from artists who have been like dedicating their lives to this craft and stuff. So that's a bit scary. I only use AI in the sense of there's an for certain specific tasks. Like there is AI softwares for stem separation where you can divide a song into like the elements. So I use that when I want to sample or make remixes or edits or whatever. So in that sense, it's useful. But I'm a little wary, but also I'm curious and wondering where this will go. I don't know. I don't have a clue really.
But do you think now that this AI revolution is coming through with music in per se, do you think you lose all the emotions that comes with per person?
I feel like there is a risk of that. There is a risk of music becoming too sanitized, too bland, and just background music essentially, which is already happening. But if it happens to a larger extent, and people as a whole losing the value of music, like losing the value of what it means to make music, and pay artists or reward the creators, and even the struggle that it takes to make music. Like I heard this quote once that AI can never make great music because it can never be horny. Like like basic stuff like life experiences that go into a person's craft, and that's just not there. So yeah, it's just feeding off data essentially.
You heard it here first. What's the first album that you ever bought?
The first album that I ever bought, I mean, I don't remember, dude. I used to go to this Planet M with my parents and buy. I guess I don't remember buying. Yeah, I did go once or twice, but I can't remember what I bought. Let me think. Now I'm remembering. There was a band in Delhi called October. I bought their CD. Then there was an Infected Mushroom mixtape thing that I got. Then
what would be your?
It was called
number?
Legend of the Black Shawarma or something. That's what it was called.
Infected Mushroom.
Yeah, that was the name of the album.
What's the most favorite track from that album?
I don't remember a single track from that album.
Oh God. What's your one guilty pleasure song that you'll never tell anyone? Or maybe you'll tell you.
Guilty pleasure. I mean,
that you would not want anybody to know, but you
that I like.
Heard it here first.
I don't know. Like there's that one. Bunny is a Rider by Caroline Polachek. It's a nice song. I like that.
That's a guilty pleasure.
I don't know. There's like more, obviously. What is it? Neo. Yeah, Neo is some cool music. Avril Lavigne.
Sure, it's complicated. What advice would you give somebody who's trying to break into the industry?
Well, I would say focus on your craft and making something that excites you. Don't worry too much about the industry at this point. Definitely don't like put all your eggs in one basket and just like rely on making an income from it in the initial phase. And just do it for the right reasons. Like I would say, don't make music for money, because that's just you're better off becoming a businessman or like doing something else. But do it for the right reason. Do it because you love what you do.
Yeah. What is the takeaway that you have from this session today? From your studio session today?
From the studio session or the conversation?
Both. Give me one by one.
From the studio session. What is the takeaway from the studio session today?
Would you want do more listening sessions? More sessions like this, studio sessions?
Yeah, I would love to do more.
And release it out to the world to see?
Yeah, I would love to do more. And just experiment more with the genres that I'm playing, I would say. I already play like a wide variety of genres in like a short duration. So
Yeah,
you mentioned,
yes.
but like really being able to mix things that you don't think will work together, and when it actually happens, it's a really special feeling. So like expand the pool of music that I'm playing, I guess. And yeah, from the conversation, just be grateful, man. Be grateful for what I have.
Amazing. We are almost at the end of our interview. And to wrap this up, if you had to describe Voice Studios in 3 words
Okay.
or more,
Slick, smooth, and what else?
sexy.
Sexy.
I mean, we were going with S and S.
Yeah,
What's
why
the
not?
other word?
The 3 S's.
Thank you so much. You've been listening to Noise Convo, brought to you by Voice Entertainment. I'm Neha Menon. Big thanks to our guests for sharing their journey and to you for tuning in. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and always keep it noise.